government in today's debate on this motion about the theme of gender and feminism is that their problem analysis and their solution are not fundamentally in tune with each other. Now, the fundamental problem and the maximum harm of the problem that they recognized from the very start was the fact that certain choices, certain job prospects are valued over other jobs by women. But the very fact of the matter is that certain jobs being valued over others, you being celebrated as a politician rather than a different job, is not a product generated by choice feminism or third wave feminism or gender issues or feminism at all, Mr. Speaker. It's a problem generated by societal factors, by the very fact that, unlike how they perceive it, the very fact that for a woman, it's harder to become a politician than to become another job. That's precisely why feminism and other people celebrate those things and prospects in the first place. So when they say that their problem analysis is that certain jobs and certain choices are valued over others, we don't really see how they're going to tackle it by abandoning a narrative of choice as a measurement of empowerment, because even if the feminist movement abandons that doesn't mean society will suddenly, equally value politicians and every choice with other choices in the first place. Today's debate, we rather say, is more about choice feminism and feminists as a movement, whether or not they should respect choices, as they say to politicians, astronauts, but not only that, also, as our closing and opening said, like porn stars or housewives or prostitutes. All of these choices to not wear bras in public, all of these choices are respected within the choice feminism, and that is a modern narrative that modern third wave feminists are generating in the current status quo in 2016, Mr. Speaker. That's precisely why we believe we have a proper understanding of what exactly the dynamics of today's debate are, Mr. Speaker. Now, before moving on to our final point about how our side actually has a better prospect of the progress of feminism through the influences on the third-party people, the middle ground people other than active feminists, let's first of all respond to some of the points and engage to their, myopic vision of today's topic in the first place. Now, their whole case relies upon this argument, how the expansion of choice and forcing people to expand and women to have diverse opportunities doesn't necessarily lead to female empowerment. So they talk about how, celebrating new choices is dangerous because, celebrating new choices is dangerous. To this, we have many responses. First of all, we say that their whole premise in the PM speech, talking about how in the modern society, every woman can become a CEO and become a successful businesswoman, that there's no, inequality in the status quo, is complete bullshit in the first place. We say, Mr. Speaker, that we say that even in the most developed countries in the world, there are still tangible oppressions and tangible inequalities that prevent women from going into those sectors in the first place. So when they say that these women are celebrated for no reason, we completely reject that. We think that the very reason that these women are celebrated when they become politicians is because it is so rare, it's so difficult for women to break the glass ceiling and enter into those sectors in the first place. That's precisely why we say we should celebrate these choices as well as other choices as well, because of the fact that there is inequality existing and they're breaking that inequality. And secondly, we say that it's very cheap for them to only to talk about that premise as if absolute equality exists in the first place. We think that we can talk the other half of the world, the developing world, countries in the Middle East. We still see actual, tangible, cultural and social oppression for these women. We don't believe their premise where everybody can become a CEO in their first place. So when they talk about how, old jobs are also cool, and therefore every old job should be also celebrated as well, Mr. Speaker, we believe that this is laughable. Because we think that the stereotypes of the past, how women should become certain ideal types, women should do certain jobs, women should be under men, women are incapable of doing high-tech jobs or certain jobs in the first place. We think that those stereotypes have been reinforced for the past centuries, Mr. Speaker. So we don't really see the necessity or the unique benefit coming from them to say that old stuff is also cool and therefore they should be reinforced. We think that those stereotypes are things that we should we think that those stereotypes are completely unnecessary to reinforce or any kind of unique benefit coming from that. And then they talk about this whole narrative of self-actualization, right? How, people, the benefit that they bring is, people self-actualizing of whatever choice they do and leading to social recognition. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of breaking of all of the stereotypes in the status quo and becoming equally respected whether you are a politician or whether you are a I don't know, a safe lifesaver at a swimming pool, well, those jobs being equally respected doesn't happen under their house, their paradigm anyway. Because as I've said in the introduction, the reason just certain jobs are valued other jobs is not a product of feminism or the narrative of feminism at all. Even if they completely abandon the narrative of feminism using choice and the existence of choice as a metric of empowerment, we'd only see the benefit of everybody being equally respected, whether a politician or not, happening under their house as well. So they bring no unique benefit to the table. On the other hand, what they did not do in today's debate was actually engage in any of the points that my partner brought up. We think that they're myopic in their vision at best, because we're not only talking about celebrating politicians, are we? We're also talking about as choice feminists, celebrating all other choices, like becoming an astronaut, as they mentioned, but also becoming a porn star, becoming a prostitute, becoming a housewife. And my partner gave you two brilliant arguments about how inclusion of all of those choices is beneficial for the feminist movement. No response whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move on to the third and final point about the actual middle ground people and the other people of the society. We think that this time right now that we live in, 2016, is in fact a crucial point in the history of feminism. We think that this is the time when men and people in general are starting to shift their opinions, are starting to change, are starting to become more sensitive. And on team proposition, what they bring up to the table is essentially a regressive policy. They talk about reinforcing old stuff because they're equally cool. They talk about breaking new sectors and becoming politicians, becoming new jobs. High-tech jobs for women is unnecessary and dangerous. We completely reject this. We believe rather, if we abandon this narrative that opening new things is good and something that should be respected, we think that this leads to feminist regression as a whole, and the middle ground people, the general public, reinforcing their pre-existing stereotypes about how women should only go into certain sectors because those sectors fit them best in a certain illogical manner. So we think that these people, in that case, the people who want to break into new sectors become completely isolated and disempowered because the rest of the members of society already are against and isolating these women. But if the feminists, as they say, the people who should be supporting these people, turn their backs on them, we think that breaking into new sectors and innovation for women is impossible under their paradigm. For these reasons, we are proud to